Reserve funding is built around predictable future projects, how expensive they'll be, and when they are expected to occur. With steady funding that offsets ongoing deterioration, you set your association up for success far into the future. The goal isn't perfection. It's making informed, defensible choices that keep your association financially strong and in good physical condition. In this portion of our Utilizing Technology in Reserve Management webinar, we focus on how technology supports better reserve studies, clear funding plans, transparent assumptions, and interactive tools like uPlanIt that allow boards to test what-if scenarios. When boards understand their plan and customize it thoroughly, reserve studies become living tools instead of static reports that sit on the shelf.
We're going to change gears now and talk about managing your reserve study. How much do you need to set aside? And it's, again, all about risk. It's complicated. So many questions come our way. How do they know what will happen 20 years from now? How do they know how much things cost? What if we can't afford what they want us to do? What if we haven't saved enough in reserves and we don't have enough cash when we need it? What if our reserve studies or reserve funding's not required in our state? Should we, do we, still we need to do that kind of thing? So lots of questions, lots of concern. And one question I can answer real quickly is, what do I look for? What's the reserve study even give me? Well, a reserve study is a perishable document. It's a budget guide, so it has an effective date for 1 year. It'll tell you what level of service. And our regular webinar participants will know that there's full reserve studies. There's update with site visit. There's update no site visit. It'll provide a list of the component projects, these expenditures that you need to prepare for, and then an evaluation of your reserve fund size. With whatever reserves you have in the bank, should you feel good about that? Or should you feel, oh, we don't have enough? And then based on that starting point, we recommend a multi-year funding plan to get you from now into the future. Because we don't want you to be at a board meeting or an annual meeting in the future and have the treasurer or the president say, well, we've got a roof project coming up and we wish we had more money than we do. We want you to have enough dollars to perform your major repair and replacement projects in a timely manner. We don't want you having plastic up on your roof. We don't want your carpet being threadbare and being a trip hazard. We want you having the right things at the right time. And that comes from making wise choices. We don't want you to become like the cartoon here, Aspen Creek condos, where even the sun on the logo of this association has a 5 o'clock shadow. We don't want your association to become like this. It's all about the decisions you make. So let's talk about your reserve study now. What if we want to move it or change it? Well, if there's anything wrong with it, go directly back to your reserve study professional and ask for it to be revised or corrected on the date that your roof was last replaced. If you told us 2015 and it really was 2017, great. We love getting that information. But what if you want to find out more? What if you want to move something around or maybe stretch a useful life, or maybe you found another CD that you forgot about? What can you do then? And that's what we have this tool for. We developed it in the 2019-2020 timeframe. We call it uPlanIt, and it's available to our client. And let me now step away from the PowerPoint and take you to uPlanIt. You click here by going to our reserve study, actually going to our website, reservestudy.com. And in the upper right, you'll see a link to our Client Center. And just like logging into HOA Invest or your bank or whatever you log into regularly, this is the view that a portfolio manager would see. It's their list of properties with association reserves. If you're a board member at your association, you'd be presented with your property. So I'm going to click on the SoCal Townhomes. It's a simple property, easy to show what's going on. And it comes up to your reserve study documents. And then you can control the user access. You can add some other people. We call them privileged users, or you can add some other people that are definitely have view capabilities. And then we get to uPlanIt. And uPlanIt is literally your reserve study come alive. Here's the component list that we talked about. This is a townhome association. You can see the asphalt, stucco and metal fence, wood trim siding painting. They have a spa and they have a roof and tree trimming. This is their component. The control panel is where you set things like what year is it, your starting balance, after-tax interest rate, things like that. And then the recommendations page where you see how it all comes together. And this is live information. So you can see here that they are starting at about 50% funded. They have some significant expenses that sag them down, but then they rebound. They have a nice steady reserve funding plan over the years that stabilizes them up near the 100% funded level. This is a fully funded profile. Look at the expenses and you can see, yes, in this first year, they have a couple of big expense years. I noticed here on the control panel that they start with about 100,000 in reserves. They're getting 3% interest, which is great. That probably means they're actively earning about 4%. And after tax, it's net after tax is about 3%. So good for them. And I would just want to show you what this can do here. For instance, this has a little special assessment in the first year to provide them just a little bit of cash margin. And if you want to find out as a manager or a board member, what's it look like without that special assessment? Well, you just type 0. You recalculate. You can see that it just barely nips at 0. You've got a couple years. And so you can see why that special assessment is there. And maybe you say, well, we probably could have tolerated a $1,000 special assessment. That was only $400. So let's see if we can do $16,800, $800. So yeah, that's a little bit good. People were dreading a $1,000 special assessment. We can tell them it's not going to be that bad. And look, with that special assessment, we're a little over the 100% line, so we can dial it back. And what do you say? How about we try 2150 and recalculate? That's a little low, maybe 2175. And this is exactly what you can do. You can say, how do we work with our reverse study and customize it? When I buy a dress jacket, I usually buy it off the rack and then I have it tailored. I like having it fit me. And this is what you can do with your reserve study. I want to show you a couple other things here. And on the control panel, let's say you were just having your funds sit at your local bank, getting money market funds, and maybe your after-tax interest is about 1%. So let's save that and go back to the recommendations page. I'm going to write this down. We were at 2175, and clearly that's no longer a full funding profile. How much are we going to have to increase it to get back to full funding? I'm going to increase it $50 a month to $22.25. That's not going to cut it. How about $22.75? That's an extra $100 a month. Still not cut it. $2,300. We're talking $125 more per month. Whew. Okay, I'm not going to do all my guessing on your time, but clearly it's going to be maybe 150 more bucks per month times 12 months is 50 times 12 is 1,800. So better part of $2,000. So that just shows you that it's worth making a phone call. It's worth looking at somewhere that you're going to get more interest, because that saves your homeowners a couple $1,000s a year. Easy thing. And then it's pretty easy here to work with your reserve components. Let's say that we are here in October now, and rather than doing the asphalt ceiling in 2026, you've said, oh, we're wrong, Robert. We already engaged with someone, and we're going to get that done in November this year. So that will be done as of 2024. And let's find something else here. Let's talk about the stucco. Same thing. Let's get that stucco and the wood trim done here in 2025, late 2025, rather than pushing it into 2026. And so that's going to minimize the first few years of expenses, round and weight. And let's see what happens. And again, this is all live. So we've done a few things here, and we can rebalance what is happening at the association. I think I've done 3 line items here. Pushing the stucco out, pushing the wood trim out, getting that done. And if that was all paid for, we can still start at the same $99,000. And then you say, okay, we can probably really reduce our reserve funding. And there we go, something like that. That's pretty close. Maybe we increase the funding 4.5%. Yeah, boy, I think I'd practice. Anyway, this is what you can do with uPlanIt. You can play with your numbers and find out how it fits your association. So let's get back to the PowerPoint. If you want uPlanIt, it comes free with every professional reserve study from Association Reserves. It's user-friendly. You saw how easy it is to work. All calculations are per National Reserve-based standards. If you're not an Association Reserves client or a lapsed client, prior client, it's $399 a year. It's pretty darn simple. At Association Reserves, we make the present less stressful and the future more secure. If you want to join us in this mission, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see us address in a future video. Let's plan for your best future.